For a lot of roofing contracting businesses, there's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now and what the market is going to hold in the coming months and in the coming year. So today on the Metal Roofing channel, we are giving you some different tips on how to stay afloat during a pandemic or during a slow economy season. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Metal Roofing channel and welcome to Q&A Mondays. It's a great day here on the channel. Please subscribe if you're new here. We release new metal roofing and metal construction content every Monday and Wednesday. All the questions we're going to be discussing today are in the description down below, so check that out. I have Adam Mazzella with me here. We're going to be talking about some different tips on how to stay busy, stay afloat, and maintain your business during a slow economic period, specifically this time that we're in right now. So Adam, thanks for being here. And I think a good place to start for us is to talk about safety. So Adam, can you start and tell me a little bit about why safety should be a priority and how safety can be top of mind during a time like this?
Yeah, thanks for, first and foremost, thanks for having me, Thad. The safety piece really is number one. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be the new normal forever moving forward, but certainly as a means of conducting business, where we're at right now in May of 2020, and certainly the short term, probably the long term moving forward, safety is going to be really key. It's going to be on the top of the list. Can my contractor, can the people that I'm looking at working with, can I trust them to be safe? That's not just maintaining the social distancing and making sure that they're still doing everything from a PPE, but a up on the roof safety thing, whether it's tying off things like that. But also, they want to know, are they doing what they have to do as a company to remain safe? A lot of companies right now, in Ohio, for instance, it's a requirement that you have to take your thermometer before you go into work. We're operating that way, and granted, there's a lot of people working from home still, but, put your safety on your sleeve. Let people know what you are doing internally, proactively, to make sure that, that safety extends all the way through their job and through its completion.
Is there anything else that you can share from Sheffield's perspective, that might be helpful? What are some things that Sheffield has done that someone else might be able to do for their business?
We've adopted really anything and everything that each particular state government recommends. And it varies by state, but, and we're putting stuff out there to really follow each state's guidance. As far as a restricted access plan, all of our facilities currently have a restricted access plan. So if you're a contractor, you probably don't need so much of a restricted access plan for your customers, but it's something that we have to have in place for our customers. However, you could have restricted access plans to customers. So, if you're at a project site or at a customer's house, for instance, you got to make sure that your people aren't accessing the homeowner to go in their house, whether to be use the restroom, get cover from inclement weather, make a phone call, use the restroom, you name it. I mean, you got to make sure that you have a plan in place that, explicitly all of your employees know what to do or where to go should any of these events arise. And it's really not so much about what do we have to do to make sure, but it's really just giving that customer peace of mind moving forward.
What are some other things in addition to the social distancing guidelines, having a plan in place? How can they leverage technology or different measures like that in order to help with business?
Yeah, and I've heard a couple of people just getting really creative with it. So, as far as a roofing contractor, roofing company, I've heard of a lot of people advertising on news stations. There really are no sporting events going on currently. So if you have advertising money, where's everyone glued? I mean, everyone's really glued to the news right now. So, one of the better practices or best practice pieces really should be, if you are going to go and make calls, don't make door-to-door calls. Get creative with it, whether it's advertising, word of mouth, references, and really not just go about your business from a distancing effort, but show how you can be creative with it. So using technology, be it Zoom, be it FaceTime, Google Duo, things like that, where you can still connect with people face to face. I know it's not ideal, but again, it's better than nothing, and it's certainly a way that you can maintain your business. One of the other things about, the mobile technology, Zoom and Duo and things like that, or FaceTime, is you can actually show somebody that's in their house that you're working on a condition that you might be up against. Or, let's say they're tearing your roof off, getting ready to put a new roof on, and they say, hey, I got to replace 4 sheets of plywood. Well, typically you'd be able to go look out a window or step out in the driveway. If you're really ambitious as a homeowner, climb up on a ladder and go check it out. Now with the social distancing, odds are you're going to want to try to keep that space. So you can do that with technology. Somebody can take a cell phone, connect with you on your cell phone and say, hey, see, this plywood here is rotted, and go about your business really in a way that we really haven't done before. Technology has been available for a few years, but it's just never been put to practice. So
if things get back to more normal, or when things get back to normal, some of those practices might be a great way to, continue being productive and to implement those on a permanent basis. Some of that technology is really helpful.
Yeah. And kind of you hit on it at the beginning. I mean, you mentioned about, how do people stay busy? I think we're kind of getting to this point, and not just us, but people in general are getting to the point of they don't want to just be busy, they want to be productive. So figuring out ways to be productive rather than just being busy is really going to be one of the keys to maintaining what that new or identifying that new normal, but also keeping some sanity. One of the big things that's overlooked is, you're trapped in your house. If you're not trapped in your house, you're not doing the things you normally do, whether it's, going to movies, going to games, going to a bar, going to a restaurant. It's just one of those things that you do to feel normal. And that's going to start coming back into play. But even then, it's still going to be different than what it was.
So talk to me about contracts. Another byproduct of something like this is material prices are going to be shifting throughout different months and seasons of the year. So tell me a little bit about what type of protection provisions someone can put into their contract for their business.
Yeah, and we've always encouraged our customers to only allow their prices to be held for, 30, 60, 90 days max. And this is really one of the perfect cases and points for it. Even though market pricing has been pretty stable, we're anticipating pricing going up. And I just say that from the perspective of a lot of the steel mills have shut down their blast furnaces or really siphoned, what they can produce. And a lot of it has to do with the demand, the sharp drop in demand that really happened almost day one. So, we know that automotive came to a screeching halt. Well, with automotive coming to a screeching halt, that's one of the biggest consumers of flat rolled product, the same type of products that metal roofing comes out of to some extent. But, flat rolled usage dramatically drops off right there. And steel mills tightening up the availability, as demand starts to pick up, they're not going to immediately open these steel mills. They're going to make sure that demand is real. They're going to make sure that they then raise their prices in accordance. We just got a price increase announcement, I think a week or two ago, and we're sitting here thinking, well, why the price increase announcement? There's no way the demand is there. Well, the demand isn't there, but the demand is there based off of what they can legitimately produce. You certainly want to keep in mind price escalation clauses, and that really is put a 90-day notice in. If you're buying off of Sheffield Metals, we can help you produce the documents you needed for your end users if we did have a price increase that you can share with your homeowners. Other things that could come up, I really haven't seen a ton of it, are really termination provisions. You might get a termination on a contract from a homeowner, building owner. Case in point, you're building a movie theater or you're building a restaurant. Well, I think demand on that has really come to a total screeching halt. So whether it's a termination or whether it's a, hey, we're hitting the pause button and we're hitting the pause button hard, you're going to want to make sure you're covered. And part of that is don't buy your material until you absolutely have to. So if you're thinking, oh, well, we could have a 3, 5, 10% price increase. Well, if you have price acceleration pieces in your contract, perfect. But should you have a termination provision and you think, well, I'm going to beat the price increase, I'm going to buy all this product now, and then you potentially get stuck with it, something else to keep in mind is, okay, if you buy it and you can float that bill till whenever the contract comes back, great, but that's going to eat up your cash. But the other flip side is, okay, hey, I don't need this material, I'm going to return it. Well, odds are you're going to get spanked with a pretty significant restocking fee from whatever vendor you work with. And really the last thing is force majeure provision. That really comes into play when we talk about these delays, and really a force of nature, an act of God that occurs that prohibits you as a contractor from performing the work. So really anything else I've talked about was really the homeowner or the building owner saying, nope, I'm canceling it. Force majeure would be you canceling it. Now, I don't know many contractors that are saying, yeah, I'm not performing the work now. Certainly if you have somebody that was exposed, somebody that was sick, you pull that out, use that card if you need to, but you don't want to take the risk of exposing somebody else. At most, worst case, you're shutting it down for a week and a half, 2 weeks, move on with life. And approach that project when you can get back and work. But by and large, most contractors are, especially in our world, metal roofing contractors and installers, a lot of our guys are welcoming the work right now.
How does this impact bidding for future projects? What considerations should be there for a contractor?
Yeah, I think most people already have in place what they have in place for most of their contracts. So, if I'm a residential contractor, odds are you're not really changing anything. I think, the new way to work is the way to think about. You may want to incorporate some things like that into your contract or the language in your contracts. But, for instance, if you're needing to maintain social distancing, you may want to put something in place that, final project review, checkbox, checklist, punch list, we're going to do that remotely, or we're going to do that with, FaceTime or Google Duo, something like that. But even then, I don't think much is going to change. I think the big thing is going to be on the commercial side, and contracts with general contractors are going to have to be what are really looked at more closely. As far as what can be constituted as a, termination provision. You want to make sure that they're not putting language in there like, if somebody on, your crew brings, COVID-19 to our project site and you didn't catch it, you can be fined and stuff like that. I don't envision things like that happening, but, again, we got to identify what the new normal is going to be. So, as you start bidding on new work, take a look at the language and make sure that there's nothing egregious in this language. I mean, you know, I look at it like this, and on either side of our businesses, whether it's the Sheffield side, the lifting side, the rigging side, 8 out of 10 contracts that, we review and look at have some sort of egregious language in there. And most of those contracts, you just go and say, hey, I'm not signing this if this is in there. And more often than not, people get it. It's just, what can you slip in there? So coming out of the coronavirus era, I would really encourage contractors to make sure, they're really doing a deep dive on their contracts before they start moving forward back into bidding new work.
So when it comes to economic aid, are there any programs available potentially for roofing companies?
Yeah, I think there's aid available for most anybody, and really the big focus is, most roofing companies are under 500 people. There's going to be a handful of them, well in excess of 500 in the country, but most of them are going to be able to qualify for either the CARES Act or the payroll protection plan. I know they say that a lot of these things have dried up. However, the idea is that they're going to keep funding these. The other things available, the Family First Coronavirus Response Act, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. If there are things that are impacting your business, you should be able to apply for these. Now, most states, absolutely not all, but most states, if you're a roofing contractor, you've probably been able to continue work in some capacity, some productive capacity over the last couple of months. I really think that the contracting world, we're maintaining right now, there's going to be a lag. So don't think that just because, hey, I weathered the storm, I'm rocking and rolling now. These are programs, and a lot of these programs are going to be there to really provide money when you might not absolutely need it right now. But if things in the contracting and the building world really come to a screeching halt, it's not going to be this second. It's really the lag, because a lot of these buildings under construction, you can't just stop them now. They're going to get pushed through, and it's really the next cycle that we're probably going to see that's going to take a dip pretty significantly. So the amount of work could be not available, where right now we could be rocking and rolling, heading out of winter, getting into the construction season. Our dip might not happen until next October, November, December, as we get into, the next off season. And then we don't know what's really going to be coming back out of, the winter of 2020, 2021. So, where you can take it now, take the relief and hunker down. It's business as usual, but hunker down. And we got to really wait and see. It's going to take almost a year for us to really see the total impact to the construction cycle.
So if a company were to have extra time, how can they use that to expand their own knowledge base, their leadership skills, their employee training? Talk to me about some options there.
Yeah, Thad, I wake up and have about 30 emails from, pick one, the who's of what's going on in coronavirus world today. And a lot of these are pretty good things. Most of them are just coronavirus updates, but there's a lot of building products manufacturers, us included, hosting webinars, about really just getting education on a product. So, if you're trying to, break into, a new product line as a contractor. So let's say, I'm a shingle roofer, do that all day, every day. I always pass on metal. Right now might be a good time to figure out how to get into metal. As the economy, starts to taper off from what it has been the last, 3, 4, 5 years, what else can you do to, kind of expand your reach to continue to, make money and build a business as the economy sort of dips. And a lot of times that's not just being pigeonholed into one category of who you are as a company. So, when you do have time, there is more educational resources available right now than I've ever seen. A lot of our business partners are putting stuff out there, weekly or multiple times a week. We've got AIA programs out there that, we've got, 6 of them now, and they all really came about in the last 2 months. So all of the experts out there right now talking about their product and how to do and what to do with their product. There are multiple like master classes out there for everybody, where you couldn't get that even if you wanted to 2 months ago. So it's been really cool to see how not just, the metal roofing world, but all industries are trying to figure out ways for people to educate themselves throughout this, coronavirus.
So along that same line of thinking, how can roofing contracting companies work on their own marketing and their own communication tools during this time?
Yeah, I think everybody has a little bit more, I don't want to call it free time, but we'll call it home time. So, if you own a roofing company, now is the time where you can start working on various modes to promote your business. If you're going to be on your computer working from home, work on your social media presence. If you don't even have a Facebook page, if you don't have LinkedIn, get on these things. Go find people that way. I mean, a lot of people are working on, just that and have been working on that. If you're not already doing it, this is a perfect way to get out there. I mean, a lot of people have years of, built up references and projects that they have photos of. This is a perfect time to get what you have out there. Work on your marketing tools, whether you're buying email addresses or figuring out ways to get creative. Start a YouTube channel. There's a lot of different ways that you can get your name out there that don't cost a lot of money, especially in a time where people are trying to be tight with cash. So, work on your website, work on your social media. There's a lot that you can do to expand your presence that as things start to get back to normal, hopefully you can be really considered the market expert and expand your reach in this time.
So what kind of tips would you have for managers and leaders during this time? How do they maintain their leadership and how do they manage their people?
Thad, as a manager, a leader, one of the best things you can do is continue to educate yourself, to continue to grow yourself. There's, like I said, a million resources out there on how to learn how to do this, that, or the other right now. Well, similarly, the same thing is for leadership. And I think, what you can do right now as a leader is let people know, just be honest. You don't know when this is going to end. The people that are advising us on what this looks like and how it's going to end don't even know. It's really, they're trying to put their best guess as well as weighing what's going on or what's happening to the economy by everything being shut down. So, the best thing you can do as a leadership is really enforce the safety aspects of your business. Keep people safe. Make sure people understand that safety is number one. By having a plan for how we interact with customers, a plan for how we interact with each other, and constantly enforce that. Enforce the social distancing. Make sure that your people have the PPE. Where there still are shortages of PPE, you can get creative with it with a lot of these face masks and coverings. Just do what you have to do to maintain that. And then, one of the biggest things is just hammer away on it. And I don't mean, drill your people on it, but you got to be constantly bringing this up, constantly mentioning this. Like I said, people have a lot of time on their hands right now. Read a book, educate yourself. I mean, this is difficult. It is challenging for everybody. This is kind of one of those things where, everybody is going through it. It's not so much isolated. The severity of how involved you are in it may vary, but, this is impacting everybody. I don't know that there's been anything in my life that you said, wow, that absolutely impacts everybody. The immediateness of it. And, that takes its toll on everybody. So, another big piece of it is just understanding what your people could be going through. And so, having, some sympathy towards your employees, it's tough. It's tough for you. It's tough for everyone that works for you. It's just a matter of kind of being that cheerleader, the rah, 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 we're going to get through this. And, if you have a plan, act on it, take care of your people, and, I think you can make it through it.
Well, I think that's a great way to end this episode, Adam. Thanks so much for your knowledge and your tips. And we hope that this gave you some encouragement and some practical advice to take to your roofing contracting business during this time, during a slow economic period. So we hope that you and your employees and your families, everyone stays safe during this time. Please comment down below or contact Sheffield Metals if you want any advice, you have any questions, or you'd like someone to answer some questions for you. Love to talk to you. Subscribe here to the Metal Roofing channel. And as always, I'm Thad Barnett. We will catch you next time.